All right, all right. Hello, everybody. Let's just wait for a couple of seconds just to get settled.
Hey, I'm here.
Hey, can you hear me? Hear me real good?
Yeah, here.
All right, so I guess we want to get this thing started. Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Help Me Understand, which is brought on by I Am Me Inc. And we try to unify, unite, and educate the community on um, any issues concerning or things concerning LGBTQIA and ally. My name is Angel, and my co-host is
Uh-huh.
Donna.
Donna.
Donna, we are back. We're
I
back. We
know
was
it's
going
been a
for a little
minute. I
bit.
know it's been a minute.
Yeah, we were going for a little bit. Just for a couple months. We just got a lot going on in the organization itself that we'll try to talk about probably at the end of this broadcast. But we got a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
So
Got a
we
lot of
are
new
back.
members too.
Yes, yes, yes. So if you are out there and within the sound of our voice, you can have people click in how you clicked in, or you can go to the website, which is www.imecorp.org, and join us, or you can go to our YouTube channel, IME Inc. 234, and join us that way. But tonight, we're going to talk about coming out.
Yes. And
Now, we're talking about this because what some people may not know is that coming out, the national coming out holiday was actually October the 11th. Did you know that, Donna?
nope.
No, it's actually it was October the 11th, and I'll kind of get into a little history of that. Um, but before I do, I think that I need to probably explain to people what coming out is. What you think?
Yeah, for sure.
Because we may have some people, and I don't separate allies from LGBTQIA and education because not all of us are educated on a lot of things. So,
Exactly.
what I'm gonna do is, well, first let me just explain what coming out is. What coming out is it is living, or what? How can I say? I can say recognizing and acknowledging your authentic selves, right? Sharing your authentic self with others.
Exactly.
And so it's our metaphor for that. So instead of saying, we're going to share our authentic self with you, we'll say we're coming out the closet.
Exactly. Coming out the closet. It's a metaphor.
Coming out the closet. So do you know anything about coming out day? The history behind it, how it came about?
No. Only thing I know is like back in the day down in the village, like in when they had the cops and the riots and stuff like that with the Stonewall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember all that, but not the coming out part. New. Yeah, that's new to me.
It's new to you. Well, what it is that, well, we already said what coming out is, but what coming out day, the reason why it's October the 11th is I got the names written down because I don't want to mispronounce the name. So we have two activists who were LGBTQIA activists, Robert Eichberg and Jean O'Leary. And they founded actually Coming Out Day. And the reason why it's October the 11th is because it was the first anniversary of the first march on Washington. The first march on Washington was for civil rights, but the second march on Washington was for lesbian and gay rights.
Mm.
So when it became the 1 year anniversary, they decided to celebrate it by having a coming out day. So that's why we celebrate coming out October the 11th, because it's the anniversary of the second march on Washington that was actually for the gay and lesbian community.
Okay.
Learn something new. And I think their main thing was just wanting everybody to know that we are here. We're not going anywhere. We're everywhere. It was kind of all about awareness and visibility and all that good stuff. All that good stuff.
Right. Exactly.
Hello. Mm-hmm. How you doing?
Hello.
Who's that? It's Maxine. Oh, yeah, what's up, Matt?
I'm all right. How you doing?
All right. Glad you came and joined us.
I got ink in my hair, so I got the lights turned off. I was just dyeing my hair and realized what time it was.
Oh,
Oh, that's
you
okay. You don't have to have your video on. We just need your voice.
Okay.
If you only want to do your voice, then that's fine. That's
Oh,
fine.
all right. How y'all
thank
doing?
you for coming. We good. Thank you for coming out and to the discussion.
Of course.
Because you always ask me about it. So see, you at least you always. But we talking about coming out. That's the topic for today.
Okay.
Yeah. So and you did you know Angel was just talking about October 11th. They National Coming Out Day. They made it National Coming Out Day.
Oh wow, that's
I
what's
just
up.
learned. Yeah, I just
Yep.
learned that today. I didn't even know. I'm reading it on my computer. National Coming Out Day.
Okay,
National Coming Out Day, yes.
that's
So I
good.
thought that would be a good topic. Even though if those who follow us know that I think back in March we did
Mhm.
speak a little bit on coming out, but we talked more about why to come out. You know what I mean? Why you
Right.
should, why some people do, why some people don't, and we didn't really get into the history of it or the national holiday of it at all.
Right.
But this
Exactly.
time, instead of talking about why, we want to get more into how the differences of people or your environment, family, friends of, before you came out, and did you see any differences after you came out?
Yeah, because it's not easy coming out. It's more easier now.
Yeah, it's a little bit more easier now, definitely, for sure. But
I think it depends on who you're talking to.
Angel, they had National Coming Out Day was first celebrated in 1988.
Yeah, that's when that was the because the
I didn't even
march
know.
in Washington was actually, the original march in Washington was actually in 87.
Oh,
So
wow.
and 88 was the first year anniversary, but no, 80 was, what did they have the original march when? I don't want to get my dates wrong because somebody will call me out on it. All I know is that it was the second march, and I almost want to say the second march was 87.
Yeah, it was
For
National
gay and
March on
lesbian.
Washington. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay, so the second march for gay and lesbian was 87. And so 88 was the first year of the gay and lesbian, but it's like the third anniversary of the march.
Okay.
itself.
Right.
So,
okay.
mhm.
Where have we been?
I don't know. I don't know.
Wow. Okay, I learned something today.
Hey, don't turn the light on. Give me some.
I learned something today, Angel.
Well, that's what we're here for. We're here to educate, right?
Mhm.
There you
Yes.
go.
We're here to educate. But we
For
really
sure.
want is just to share some experiences and stuff. I mean, I don't know, Donna, you want to start? How did you was there a difference when you came out from people around you, or?
Yeah, it wasn't as acceptable as it is now, because back then, like my mom was the first one I told, and she was okay with it. She was a little hurt and a little, but she already knew. But I just know that back in the day I was called all types of names, dykes, but so it was kind of hard back then. But I still stayed true to myself. And didn't let nobody stop me from being who I was. So no, I didn't get, like, in school, didn't get picked on. In the military, didn't get bothered, nothing like that. But in the military, it was don't ask, don't tell kind of concept back then when I was getting into that. But other than that, yeah, I came out and that was it. I never went back in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't have a
I
big
always
story.
wondered, by you being in the service, I always wondered how that went. I mean, I know in general, they say don't ask, don't tell, but individually, people have their own personal issues. I didn't know if maybe you came across something with individuals.
No,
even though it
what?
wasn't really policy.
No, I think because I'm such a nice person, I get along with everybody. I'm not stuck up. I'm not mean. And people gravitate to me, so it was easy for me. And you could tell what I'm about, especially how I dress. But I never had no problem. I had soldiers come onto me thinking they can get me, but I didn't, I was, the way I was. But yeah, I didn't have no problem in the military at all.
What, like, did you do any any prep or, we have a speech ready or anything like that when you, when you came out?
No, I just told my mother, as long as my mother knew, I didn't care about nobody else. That was it. Everybody else was whatever, family. As long as my mother was okay, I was okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and my brother, he was cool with it. He didn't have no problem. So, and my family, they didn't have no problem because some of my family members are in the life too. Some of them are gay too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So it wasn't that bad. What about you, Maxine? Because I know you've been like me a long time ago. Huh?
It was bad. It was bad for me.
It was bad.
Only as far as the family, I told my moms, and once I told her that, she started beating me, tying me to poles, and beating me with extension cords.
Oh, wow.
How old was you?
Like, I was 12, 13, going on 13.
Oh my God.
ACS stepped in, and they took me from my mom's and my brothers. They never liked it at all. But now, friends, as far as friends, I always had friends because I was a cool person. They always told me, as long as you don't come on to me, we good.
Yeah,
but my personality really took my friends. But as far as my family, it was a no-go.
Wow. And you would think your family would be, the ones that stick to you, but they don't. They
not
don't
at all.
Right. Sad, but true.
Yeah.
Now, see, I didn't even have a coming out. I just started showing up with women.
There you go.
And I think because my outwardly appearance looked hetero, because femme style.
Yes.
It took probably a couple of women before they clicked and was like, "Is she dating them?" Because everybody just thought I'm hanging with my homegirl or or something like that. Even though they accused my bestie. You've met my bestie, Donna. She's been put through the ringer just because she's my bestie.
Wow.
But because I didn't come out until late in life.
Okay.
Well, later in life. I ain't that old, but later in life. And
I know.
she went through a lot. She got accused of a lot. I'm like, nah, she ain't the one.
Oh no.
Right. But I just started showing up. But I knew that my family, for the most part, my concern were the elder ones because they kind of control the feeling of the young, the rest of the generation. And they were pretty cool. They were like, okay, so what happened? It used to be they would tell crazy jokes to, boyfriends, and now they just flipped it and tell crazy jokes to my girlfriend.
Because you have a lot of girls now that's dating females and still won't come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really won't.
Me and my girlfriend been together 11 years. And you couldn't believe that we was dating because you would never see us in the street holding hands or being together in the street like that.
Right. Really?
But you know what? I mean, because I know that my me and my partner, we were raised in different times a little bit. We ain't that far off. But she's not one for big on public displays of affection.
No.
She's okay, but I think it makes her way more uncomfortable than it makes me.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't have a problem being out in public and tapping your butt, grabbing your hand, playing around with you. Because when I'm out with her, it's just us. I don't concern myself with what others think because I don't think I'm doing anything too vulgar that would be like disrespectful to maybe a family or younger person. So I'm free with it. But her eyebrows will go up like Angel. She won't say it, but her eyebrows will go up.
Do you know why? Like, why she don't hold hands or nothing?
I just think it's a different time. I don't think it's anything too heavy. It's just the way she was raised. You know what I mean? And I think it, and she would. If
you're okay with it,
right? She got a lot going on right now, so I doubt if she popped on tonight. But she can tell her own story. But but I just think that it's just, you know, when you're just don't want to push your authentic self on anyone, you kind of learn how to kind of
Okay.
blend a little
Gotcha.
bit. So I don't know, but she can tell her own story. Maybe when we
Yeah.
have another another
Yeah.
discussion or something like that, and she
Okay.
can tell her own story. But I know I'm more public with affection. Now
Okay.
she's more affectionate in general than I am, but when it
Okay.
comes to public, I think I'm a little more bolder than she is as far as
Okay. Well, long as she's affectionate,
displaying it. Oh
it don't
yeah,
matter.
oh
It don't
yeah,
have to-
yeah,
That's long.
absolutely.
That counts.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. That's good.
But yeah, I didn't have a
Notifications.
coming out moment. I just rolled on up there with it,
Oh,
and
that's cool.
then people just ask me questions. So you know, they will pull me to the
Right.
side and be like, Angel.
Right. It's always like they're like, bye, leave me alone. How about your children? How did they take it?
Now I did sit down and talk to both of them individually because my kids are very far apart in age. I have a 15-year gap between my children.
Wow.
Oh,
So my son, who's the old, my son, who's the oldest, he wasn't quite settled with it. You know, he's more into the religious realm.
okay.
His thing is he struggled a little bit wanting to accept it, but yet he has love for his mom.
Mm-hmm.
And he ended
That's
up coming around, and
that's good.
he's very respectful to my partner, and you know
That's
all
good.
that. He's never done anything wrong or anything mean or spiteful. But in the beginning, he was a little uncomfortable with it because he felt like it was against, he did think it was against God a little bit. He's like, "But you're my
Mhm.
mom. I love you. As long as nobody
Yeah.
don't hurt you." Now, I think it went smoothly with me. I think if the shoe was on the other foot and it was his father saying,
Oh,
the same thing, I don't think it would have went the
too
same way.
well. Right.
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 But
Yeah.
my daughter, she's like, "What, Ann? So?" you know,
Yes.
she's like, "Whatever, mom. Okay. Next, next topic."
Well, makes you happy.
That's good though.
So
That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah, my daughter, she don't it don't even phase her. She's whatever. She's good with it. Oh, she's always been good with it.
Yeah, my daughter was
Yeah.
like, "Okay, mom. So you got $10."
Right. Right.
He didn't care. Only my
18
son
of
struggled a little bit, but then he got over it. So, or he got through it. I won't say
right.
over it. He got through it, and he's cool.
Yeah,
now.
yeah, for sure. Okay. Man, see, you don't have no kids, right? You have your kids with your girl, but you don't have
Let's
kids on your
see.
own, right?
I got 15 kids by 15 different women. No, I have no kids. D, come on, you should know I never slept with a man in my life.
No, I'm just making sure because I don't want to say something that is not, I'm like kind of like, I know you didn't, but I know you have kids with your girlfriend. I know that. But
I have
other than
kids
that,
with
I
my
know
ex.
you didn't. I know you didn't
I
have
have
your ex too, yeah.
yes. Don't ever forget
Okay.
Momo.
But so you do have kids, but they not, they didn't come out of you, but you have kids.
I literally
Yeah.
have 15.
But how do they take them? How do they take it?
I mean, all the kids love me. I mean, like this is the problem. I never had a problem with not one of my kids at all.
That's good.
And, except for one, Danita. When you came to the birthday party, her mother was there at the party.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
She rebelled against her mother because she didn't want her mother with me, and it was a big problem with us. But guess what?
Yeah.
Now she's older and she's gay.
What?
So at that party, she literally apologized to me.
Oh, okay.
She apologized, but
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
And these two, Makai was 3 years old when we started dating Sharia, and Shania was 6. Now she's 17 and he's 13.
I know they grown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo. That's crazy.
Well, we would love for anybody to get on and share.
Ain't nobody
coming
else
out
on. I
story.
think it's like 5
well,
people.
what I get is we have people who listen to us later. They won't come on the live.
Oh.
Hello, somebody just said hello. I don't see a name, but I see hello, so I'm gonna say hello back.
Hello.
Hello.
Say something. Forever hold your peace.
That's right. Help us understand. Help us understand.
Someone on
Did
here
you know
named
that they
Who that?
Marie?
No, Marini.
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 Marini, hello. Hello.
Did y'all
Hi.
know that they have they have books out to try to help people come out?
Mm.
Yeah, they have coming out books. And yeah, hello Marini. Say hello
That would
to
be nice to
Hey.
read.
Really? They have books.
But what I noticed is not really telling people when to come out, or it's not even really necessarily hitting on how too much of the come out. What it's hitting on is it's like explaining, giving you a good explanation so you can explain to other people, so you can
Right.
be educated in what you're claiming, and you can explain it, or you can talk about it, or you can be comfortable with it and answer questions, and all that kind of stuff.
What I
Right.
think at this point in time, I don't think it's hard for people to come out. It seems like it's a trend. Like everybody's just out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we the cool people. We like to party and have fun, and we
But
don't bother nobody.
but there still are people who, my thing is, what I see is there's some people who are just very sexually fluid. You know what I mean? Young and sexually fluid, and they're trying to figure themselves out one way or another. And because it's so out there now, they're able to just freely talk about it, do it, whatever. I think for the ones who are raised in certain environments, maybe a little stricter, do struggle with how do I know what I am, but how do I explain this, to my loved ones, so where they can understand it? How do I, kind of educate them a little bit when I tell them, and how can I be confident about myself and who I am, who my authentic self is, and understand that.
Well,
Exactly.
Oh, somebody said, what's the age level of the book? Actually, I looked at a few of them and I just went through, and there wasn't an actual age limit. I mean, it wasn't written. I would say the way it was written, it probably would have to be high school and up.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it would have to be high school and up. They didn't have, or at least I didn't pay attention to age. I just was kind of amazed when I did a little research and seen it was like a lot of posts about it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I answered that because somebody has asked what was the age level of the book. I don't know if you can see the comments, but I can see the comment.
No, I can't.
Yeah, somebody asked what was the age level of the book. But yeah. And I know that I think maybe once we've mentioned the Trevor Project, because the Trevor Project is a good resource. They do a lot of statistics stuff for our community, and they actually have a book up. So I mean, I haven't read their book, but I was looking like, oh, they have one too. Wow.
Dang.
Okay.
Did Marini share her coming out story?
Yeah, please.
Here. I get out of here. Wait.
Is that one person with all the noise in the background?
Right. I'm like, who's talking?
I didn't know if it was like a couple of people talking, or
Right. Does she want to come out and say anything? Or so
no.
That's okay.
You sure? You can be free and talk. We want to listen to it and hear your story.
All right, Raphael, Boss Man Jones saying hi. Hey, Raphael.
Hello.
But yeah, some people, I mean, now that it's more acceptable, you would think that nobody really struggles, but I still see people who struggle with the ones that are close to them. Like their friends and stuff, it's easy, but when it comes to like parents, grandparents, they struggle a little bit to kind of be able to explain it to them in terms that they would understand.
Yeah, it's like the older generation is kind of like still like behind, like like
I would have a suggestion on that.
the grandpas.
I would suggest like if you're in a two-parent home and the
Mhm.
closer parent you with, I would go to that
Yeah.
parent first, so that parent can
Yeah.
help you speak to the next parent.
That's
Oh,
a good
yeah.
idea. That's a good
Yeah.
suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
At least you'll have,
Have backup,
Yeah.
somebody to help
you'll
you.
have backup. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Because there's a lot of suicidal teenagers that, when it comes to that too.
I was one of them.
Yeah, oh my
I
goodness.
was definitely one of
Wow.
them. So I
I'm
know
glad
I
to
can
hear.
relate to kids that's going through it.
Yeah, wow.
Wow. I listen to everyone's coming out stories, and I mean, I sympathize with, I'm not sure who the person that says iPhone on there, because she doesn't have her name.
Nah,
Your
because I
friend.
have ink in my hair.
Okay. And I sympathize with your coming out story with your mother. I think you said not accepting. But my coming out was a little bit different. I
Mhm.
came out maybe 6 or 7 years ago, always knowing who I was, but it wasn't necessarily my family. Sometimes it's you as a person that
Mhm.
has to work it through in your mind. Like,
Right.
is this lifestyle I want to live? Do I want to be out?
Mhm.
Am I prepared to deal with the consequences of being out? Because sometimes we forget that we're in our bubble, in our
Mhm.
world, but you have to go outside of that. And some
Right.
spaces won't accept who you
Nope.
are. So for
That's
me, it was always, I know who I am, but what's the right time? Who am I going to affect? How is it going to affect them? Would I be prepared if it's a negative reaction? Can I afford to be out?
right. Exactly.
And I know that's a lot to think about, but those are
But
the
hey, people go through it.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's the
From
I know a lot
job,
of people
family,
who,
all kinds of stuff.
yeah, we touched on this back in March. I mean, I know a lot of people who are out with family, but they're not out like at work or
Mhm.
vice versa, or friends and not family, you know what I mean? Family, not friends, something like that. And it's not that they are ashamed of who they are or anything like that. It's just that they weigh the
Yeah.
options of, is it work, pros and cons, like,
right.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. Because you don't want to have to hear all that, stuff in your
right.
ears.
It's a
Another
major
thing on that,
step.
what I
Mhm.
say on that is it's about making yourself happy. Because if you hold
mhm.
everything in,
Mhm.
then you're gonna struggle and go through a lot. So I
Everybody else is
really
gonna be happy, yeah, but you not.
And plus, I would
Right.
think that takes too much energy, to constantly have to be on your P's and Q's of
Yeah.
your mannerisms, your actions. That's a bit much. That's a
Mm-hmm.
bit much.
it's either you
I
accept me or you
agree.
don't.
Yeah.
I
That's
agree
it.
emotionally, like, yes, emotionally, that is a lot, but I don't think people realize coming out is more than just saying I'm out and I'm living it. You still got to live a whole life.
Mhm.
For the people that are watching, coming out affects every portion of your life. It's not like heterosexuality, where you
Right.
just decide to have a boyfriend and your mother may not like him, but she deals with it.
Right.
Coming out for some could mean losing employment, losing entire families,
Mhm.
losing where you live. It's a huge experience. So I know it's people that's watching that will watch later. For me, I think these are things you should consider. Yes, you want to be free, you want to be able to live your truth, but what is your truth costing you? Sometimes you have to be prepared to come
Mhm.
out. If I come out,
Right.
can anyone take anything away from me if I come out?
Mhm.
Right.
Can I still feed myself? Can I still live? I can worry about all the emotional stuff later, but it's when you take away the necessities that for me was the scary part. That I
Right.
felt to address these things first before I decide to take this next step.
Yeah.
It's just so much involved. It's unfortunately you got to deal with it though. There's no way to get around it. It's going to affect your life in some type of way.
Right.
Some type of way.
But even
Okay.
with me in the military, with the don't say, don't tell, don't ask, don't tell. I still had a girlfriend and in my tent, and I had roommates in my tent, and they knew I was gay, but nobody bothered me because I guess because I got along with everybody and I was such a nice person. But I did my dirt, and it wasn't acceptable to be gay at the time. But I still did what I did. I wasn't scared, and I didn't care if I got thrown out the military or not. But I was gonna be me.
But some people, even though they have that confidence within themselves, a little like P was saying, you might lose something. There's people that are extremely attached to family bond, and just the thought of losing that family bond, is a bit much. There's people who work very hard in their career to get where they're at. And even though they're confident and everybody knows, that's a big consequence to work that far and be blacklisted, so
yeah.
It's understandable. I mean, some of us, I'm thankful that I had it a little
unhappy and be in the closet. Yeah. Either you're gonna be unhappy and be in the closet, or you're gonna be out and live your life and work around, and you might not have the job you want, but you're gonna find something that you better, because that's how the universe works.
Yeah, but not everybody can afford that space in between.
Yeah, I say preparation is key. I say build you a network, and then build your foundation around you before you actually just jump out there. That way it just doesn't matter who accepts it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Me, I'm the opposite. I rather lose everything for my happiness and then gain something. That's just me. But they could have put me out the military. They could have, but did I say, oh, that's my livelihood? I'm gonna, nope. Nope. I was true to myself.
But
that's good, but not everybody like that. Not everybody like that.
Yes, I know. And that's my story.
I'm gonna come off the topic for a second, and I'm gonna back up something you said, G. I'm gonna come off the topic for a second. So it's like when you hold in so much, it eats you up so bad. And as I was saying, I was in this relationship for 11 years. It's time for me to leave. So it's the same thing like me coming out. When you know it's time to come out, you got to come out, or it's going to eat you up.
Yeah, I agree.
People worry about jobs and materialistic things, but they don't worry about their self and their happiness. Yes. Like I said, the universe is going to take care of you. The universe is going to take care of you. You take care of yourself and you come out and you do what you got to do. The universe is going to take care of you. You're going to get something better.
I believe that, yes, if you do got to come out, fine, I'm out. But if the universe doesn't provide immediately, like I know people that lost for my happiness. Yes, I'm not willing to be homeless when I could take a step and say, okay, yes, I understand that I need to come out. Now I got to safely come out. Because it's some people the universe don't catch. It's some people that end up on the streets. It's some people that end up on drugs. It's some people that end up suicidal because of the after effects of coming out. So yes, come out, but we need to be more conscious about coming out. Let's think about, okay, yes, I got this dying need to live my life, but what do I need to do to avoid the side effects? How do I avoid being so homeless and destitute? Well, I need some financial stability. How do I avoid all of the emotional anguish? Well, I need to be financially stable so that I can get the insurance or have the funds to get the therapy that I need. So
that's true.
Yeah, there's no job. You don't have that net, and then sometimes you don't have the skills. Like for you, you were in the Army, you already had life skills. But what if I don't have life skills and I want to come out because I'm just tired now? I have zero life skills. I have zero employment skills. I have nothing. So I'm just coming out on a limb, and then everything is taken. My home, my family. That leads to other severe side effects that I don't think people really take a look at.
Because there are no places to run to. There's not a lot of places to run to when you're from our community. You know what I mean?
But
There
there's
are
not a lot of
places that won't
jobs that's
even
going to
accept
turn
you.
you down either. There's a lot of jobs that's not going to be like, oh, you gay, you gotta. There's laws against that too.
Yes,
there's laws against it.
But I tell you, for example, Delaware, an employer can fire you right on the spot, and it'd be very, very hard to prove discrimination because I forget the law that it's called, but they can say that you do not represent their organization, company, whatever, like they want you to, and you can be fired. And Delaware backs that up. It's very, very hard to win a discrimination case, especially with employment in Delaware.
But you could be straight and black and still have that consequence.
Yeah, but you didn't. But my thing is, you look at like a lot of them, it's not like it's something they already built up to. You know what I mean? They spend time and energy to get to that point in their career. So to just be like, I'm just going to give all this up and start from scratch all over again, that's kind of hard for folks.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I get it. I mean, I get it, but I'm sure there's people that's out there that has done that. I'm sure people have done that. Because I know, like I said, I was in the military and that was my livelihood. That was my money. But I still was like, I'm going to be me.
So I have a suggestion. Like, if they're trying to come out, start building up. Start looking for a job. Start saving money, putting to aside. So when you know you're ready and you financially stable, you can walk out of that, come out without any problems.
Right.
Try to be as self-sufficient as possible, because one thing I noticed about, just us in general, Black people, I can't speak for Caucasians.
Stop.
When our parents don't agree with what we're doing, what's the first thing they do? They start taking stuff away. You don't appreciate that I'm doing this, that, and the third. And it's not that we don't, it's just that we have our own identity, and sometimes parents have a hard time differentiating that. So I say be as self-sufficient as possible. Coming out is an emotional experience. The side effects can be deadly, that will just destroy you. We can take a minute. We could take 2 months. You could take that 3 months, that 4, that 5 to figure it out. Especially if you're a young person, that's more fearful for me. 16, 17 years old. Listen, mom, I'm coming out regardless. And then you're home.
Which is a lot of teenagers are like that because their parents put them out.
Yeah, and then think about the trans community. Parents don't accept you. So then you start finding these less desirable houses or groups to get involved with, and they have drugs in the mix. And then you start maybe into prostitution. It's not even just trans people, it's lesbians that do it. It's the gays that do it. Then you end up with AIDS. You just spiraling down because you don't have the right socially to just come out like a heterosexual person, and that is not fair. That's why I always say just be prepared, because you can avoid a lot of consequences, negative things that happen to you because you're not.
Well, starting next year, we'll help you be prepared if you're a young adult.
Yes.
Yes. We will have a program to help you be prepared.
Yes.
That's good.
And if you're an older person, just, and I know people want to watch now and later. I know some people will do what Donna is doing, but you got to realize Donna was in the military. Donna had life skills. Donna had a family. She can survive. Ask yourself, what have you been doing in your past 30, 40, 50 years? And are you codependent on whatever your lifestyle is? If
Mhm.
you are, become self-sufficient and then come out.
Mhm.
You know, don't be what my grandmother would say, don't be an old fool. You're too old to be a fool.
That's right. That's right. It's the thing. Like,
Sure.
I don't know. Did y'all have any? Was there any differences in family, friends, coworkers, or anything like that from before coming out to after?
I came out when I was 24. So and then I got, like I said, I was in the military. I got the post office job, and I was in the post office for 19 years, and I was out. They knew I was gay, and it was fine. I didn't have no problem.
Well, I
I
didn't
mean,
have any. I mean, I still had like the support of everybody, but certain mannerisms changed. Like I did have, a couple of girlfriends who all of a sudden weren't comfortable around me. Like we all go to the
Oh,
bathroom together, or be in the same room
there's that
changing, or
type
and
of
I'm like,
shit.
really? If I ain't never hit on you before, believe me, I ain't gonna hit on you now. Like
see,
I don't want
mine
you're
was
not my
different.
type. But I had like only a couple of those, out there. But after we confronted the issue, because I'm like, I'm not walking on eggshells, we're gonna hit this. They were
Yeah.
okay with it, but that's pretty much about it. That's about all.
See, mine was a little easier because like I was 13 and I was on a
Mhm.
pair with like people that was 30, 40, and they was teaching me. They was the parent
Mhm.
that I didn't have at home.
Mm.
So it
Mhm.
made my life a lot better. And then one of the girls that I met on a pair, her mother literally took me in. And I lived
Mhm.
with them for like 4 or 5 years. So
Nice.
Oh, okay.
I just started giving back to people that gave back to me.
Right.
Yes.
And
Wow.
I mean, I really appreciate your group talk.
Yeah. Thank you.
With mine, I was the delusional one. When I finally did have a conversation with my mom, she like, you, wow. I'm like, what the heck? My family, oh, please, come on. Like, we don't give a about that kind of stuff.
Right.
It was more or less me. And I say I was delusional because after my family accepted, I was married and I thought my extended family would still be
Mhm.
involved in some kind of way after coming out on their child. But
Right.
I mean, I had to come out of that delusion and say, okay, he is not going to transition to be a friend with me or co-parent with me because this is, devastating for him. So I had to
Mm.
accept that. As
Right.
far as friendships, my best friend and I was like, okay, well, we were waiting for you for years. Who
Oh,
cares?
wow.
For change. Nothing. It was just me. It was just me and my thoughts.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's always like that.
I don't know. Sometimes it's a testament on how, not always, but sometimes how you dealt with people before. Because both my kids' father and they're 15 years apart. They have two different dads.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when they found out, their thing was, if you can let us know if a woman ever hurt you, we gonna mess her up. They just became protective, and I was like,
Right.
wow.
Okay.
They
That's
had
good because
questions,
they
as they go along, it might have a little question here or there, but for the most part,
Right.
they're like, we still gonna look out for you.
That's good.
that's good because they can't protect us now.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. But
And
not everybody has that type of story, so everybody's story is different. There's no set rules in the coming out. Why, when, where, how.
No, it's none at all. Just do it how you want to do it
Just
at your
Yeah,
own
just like they said,
individuality.
prepare yourself and educate yourself.
Yep.
And that'll help you deal with whatever is coming.
Right.
so what it basically sound like, all of us in a nutshell, we all said in our own way, community matters. Like we
Oh,
all have
absolutely.
some type of community. So I guess we could impart to people, it's great to come out with community. So again, when you're building your life skills, your job skills, search for a community. That makes it easier just in case the one that you had that you were used to just deserts you. Like in my case, I had a whole family. Like my children are fine, but the person that I was with for 20 something years that I thought would transition into a friend,
Right.
but, you know, just he bailed. He like, nah, I'm not transitioning to anything. You transform, I'm going over here. So, yeah, community is the key.
Yeah, I wish we had a you know, either a trans person or a gay person on live that could share their story. You know what I mean? Just to
Right.
give a few more perspectives on surrounding coming out.
Exactly.
Because even though all of us are in the family and we have our coming out stories, you know, none of our stories are the same story.
Nope.
And none of us are going to experience the same exact thing. And so it would have been nice if one of our, you know, wonderful members of the community would come on and share their experience.
If they looking, come on, share it. Why not? The more the merrier.
Or comment about it or give some comment, you know, to see if it compares anything to ours, you know. And because like I said, if the tables were turned with my son and it was his father coming out to him, I really don't believe that he would have taken it the way he took it with me. It would have been a whole different experience.
For sure.
Because of society and the way society looks at
men. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So it'd be nice to have a man come on and share their experience.
I could share an experience about a male that I dealt with that was a part of the community, but very stealth. Very stealth. And he was a PK, a pastor's child or whatever, pastor's kid or whatever. And he was trans attracted for many years. He got married, had a child, everything. And behind her, he was seeing trans women. Eventually, the wife found out about the situation. And him and I would have conversations, and I would say to him, like, you know, sort of like what Donna said, well, if you know that's what you like, why don't you come out and live your truth? And he told me, you know, simply, I'm a male. It's not going to be that easy for me. Do you understand what's going to happen to me? Do you understand that the spaces that I am welcome in, I will no longer be welcome in? Do you understand the devastation that it'll cause to my family, my daughter, and my mom, particularly? And the family was heavy into church. So he essentially would have lost everything.
Right.
So,
and there wouldn't be too much support system that he could find.
No,
depending on his area or where, you know,
Delaware. Lived in Delaware.
You ain't gonna,
He wouldn't have found too much of anything. I mean, in the end, he did end up losing the wife because she did find out and she knew about everything. I think he still has a little bit of issues with trying to navigate, like he's still not in the community, but how do you develop a bond with another woman after the heartache of losing your family and you know what the situation is? So it's just very complex.
Right.
So, I mean, we say that it's hard for men, but to me, it depends on the situation. It could just be just as hard for a woman too.
I really think it depends on those around you and who you're coming out to, and that bond and that connection you have with them. Because I felt very nervous about it's like I felt easy to come out to my age group of family and friends and younger, but when it came to the older set, I was more nervous, even though they accepted. But me, I was more nervous to talk to them about it.
Yeah,
I
but
think-
I think feminine women opposed to us masculine centered women, it's a little bit easy, especially in the workforce, because the way I dress, you can tell. The way a feminine woman dress, a lot of men or whatever wouldn't know unless you tell them.
Mhm.
So I think when it comes to the masculine, we get
stick out.
it. Yeah.
I think one of
Mhm.
the things about, being a femme and coming out, and I agree with you, Donna. I think overall it's probably a little easier because I can fit in better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People don't feel intimidated by my sexuality because I fit in.
Right.
But on the flip side of that, it took a very long time for people to take me and my relationship seriously. You know what I mean? By me being a
Right.
femme, they did not take, they just
Right, yeah.
did not take
Yeah,
it
I know.
seriously at all. They just, you're having fun, blah, blah,
It's
blah.
a phase.
You said the right word.
Yeah.
He said the
I mean,
right
I'm not
word.
saying that masculine women don't get that, but I think because of the appearance, people
We
are
don't
more,
get that.
yeah,
No.
I'm saying because I think your appearance, people are more willing to take yours seriously from the door. You know what I mean? Whereas
Right.
me, it's like I remember going somewhere with someone I was dating at the time, a young lady, and I had family members trying to hit on her like right in front of me, like
Wow.
like how you gonna? I would never do that to y'all and your girlfriends or boyfriends. Like, how dare you? It's just not taken seriously, And it was a
Right.
while before they took it seriously.
Especially
Yeah.
if you have children or if you was married to a man.
Oh
they
yeah.
really just break you
Oh
over
yeah.
the coals. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Think that something happened and somebody did something wrong to me, and
I
I've been
know
told
that
you had great baby daddies.
I think males and transsexuals have it harder than all of us.
Oh yeah.
Because my youngest brother is gay, and he's literally married to a guy now, and he has it bad to this day.
Really? Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
he has it bad to this day. But I think they have it harder than us.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Especially
anytime
men,
your
period.
appearance, anytime your I guess swagger or your style is different than what they feel it should be. You're a woman, you should be feminine. You're male, you should be masculine. If you were born with female genitalia, you should just claim, woman, male. If you are outside of that societal norm, then they give you a little harder
They
time
don't
than
understand.
those of us that can blend. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because my brothers hate him, and like they relate to me now, but they literally hate him, and that's something he's going through right now.
Wow. How can you hate
That's
somebody?
crazy.
My brother's not.
That comes from education. Families need to be educated.
Hey, what's up, Smack?
Hey,
How y'all doing tonight?
Hello, how you doing?
This is Smack. I'm doing great. Yeah, that part right there, hearing that a family hates someone, that word hate is not good. And people need to be careful because now they're, I just wanted to say, there are like hate crime bills that are about to be passed. Big shout out to Delaware. We got one that's already ready to happen. So I am so happy about that. But and this time right now, I want to tell y'all with like the new work I've been doing, I've been seeing a lot of youth in the Wilmington, Delaware area that are very young and they're homeless. Then I'm just talking to them while I'm on a, hour lunch. I'm trying to, learn the community where I'm at, because where I work at, there's a lot of different community service buildings that they can go to get help, food, meal, shower. And so I'll be seeing them and I'll be like, because they got May got something on that shows their happy, pride stuff, rainbow stuff. So I'll be like, hey, what's going on? And then I'm talking to them and I'm like, how old are you? You know what I'm saying? And when some of them are between 16 and 18, And it's sad to hear the story that they're homeless because their families turned their back on them.
That's
And I'm
crazy.
like, you know, it's just terrible.
Makes
And
sense.
so I try to provide them with, you know, resources. Definitely I Am Me Inc. You know what I'm saying? Letting them know
For
the
sure.
website to go to, making sure they go there. And I really think that we are in a time right now, people who are supposed to represent us, that are in the position to get laws and bills passed, they need to be educated and to see that, you know,
Right.
how serious this is, because it's about to be, I would guarantee you by next year, 2024 legislative, into, you know, wherever we as, you know, gay people are going to have a problem. And I was listening while I was eating my dinner to you guys this message, and everyone sharing their story about coming out, and you know, the date of October the 11th and how important it is. And I really think our young people need to be educated and find that right time. I mean, who's to say when is the right time? So many yell it out of anger to their parents. That's what happened to me. You know, my mom, I got tired of her. I just like, Mom, I'm gay. I love women. You know, I just came out with it. And that destroyed my relationship with my mother. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, well, for 2 years we didn't speak, but we're back where, you know, just like best friends. But there was a time where she didn't speak to me when I came out. And it's the way that I did it. I did it in anger. And then I had to go and, you know, have those conversations with my brothers and also with my dad, who they were all just like, okay, and, you know, but everybody doesn't have that type of coming out story. You know what I'm saying? And I just think in the day and time that we're in, we need to save our young people.
Yes.
Because I see it is, when you look at the number of homelessness and you talk to people who are dealing with our homeless LGBTQ community, half of them are because they came out to their families and their families turned their back. And that's terrible to hear that there is such a high number right in this good state of Delaware. And then I also, when, you know, you have older people who finally decide to come out, you know what I'm saying? At a later age, I feel like they need to have some type of support system in place, because people who've been knowing you all your life, they're not going to be so accepting. And you're not going to have all these families that are so loving, like, okay, you know, whatever. But then it does when you finally come out, you know what I'm saying? Like I walk proud in who I am. You know what I'm saying? And I love where I work because it's not looked at like that. They don't care. It's about that, you know what I mean? And it's definitely I just wish, like, I wanted to say, like, I wish the rest of the world was like where I work at.
That's good.
You know what I mean?
That's
because it's a lot of allies there who you know, support it. But I just feel like when you're older and you're going to come out, you're going to need some type of support system, because I have a friend who came out at a later age, and mentally they are hurt and have been hurt for some time, and they finally are just going to go get like some real help, because they've been in a depression since they came out. But it's something that they've already felt within from being young, but because of being raised and, you know, dad is a pastor, you know, it's something that they hid and lived, you know, miserably. Then they finally come out, and they're still depressed. So there's got to be a support system. I wish we could have, you know, more support groups out there for people who are older.
But like we were
Yeah.
saying
Education
earlier,
definitely.
preparedness, you got to think about, you know, the consequences and educate yourself so that you can be confident and explaining to whomever you're coming out to, you know, what's going on basically.
Right.
Yeah,
And
so
just like what Donna was saying with the military, you know,
Right.
military teaches you a lot of life skills. You know what I'm saying? I have two brothers who retired from the army,
Yeah.
and you know, you know, the what is it called? Don't ask, don't tell,
So
or
yeah, don't
whatever
tell.
tell.
that
Yeah.
I forget. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just imagine someone who's not, that doesn't have any life skills and doesn't realize like what is it. I think like it's good that I'm so happy to hear about the youth program that IME is doing to help
Yeah.
our youth, because a lot of people that I've talked to think that that is such a great idea, because they need to be taught the life skills, especially financial literacy, you know, literacy. They also
Yeah.
need to understand, you know, what coming out, what it looks like, you know, what could happen, and how
Yeah.
to prepare for that and be able to defend that. You see what I'm saying? How
Right.
to
Right.
protect your mental as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot that come with it, because I know when I came back out, you know, back in the, you know, late 80s, it wasn't something you just I wasn't walking proud. I felt good that my family knew, but I didn't feel like I could walk the streets
No,
without somebody probably trying
well,
to beat my butt. I went through such a transformation
that is so true.
from girly to being who I am today, you know?
Right. Right.
They like
And
chilling there, people there.
just to add on to that, I know that, all right, people in our community have like, what do they call mom and dads? I think we need to replace that with real mentors, like real positive LGBTQ plus mentors. Cause like, even if your family accepts you, they still don't understand your journey. Right? That positive LGBTQ plus person that you could talk to, that's level-headed. And I feel like a lot of people don't get that. They get the LGBTQ person that puts them under the wing, that may be on drugs, that may not be even emotionally stable themselves.
It's like they're molding them. It's like they're molding them for something that they want to achieve to help them out.
Yeah, teaching them how to be in survival mode instead of how to live. So that's why I love our program too. And you know, I'm glad we're having this conversations, because I really believe people believe that coming out is like you just jumping out of a freaking box like with a ribbon on it. I'm out.
Yeah, they don't know how much thought, how much emotion, you know, how much fear, how much, you know, anxiety goes with that.
Yeah.
You know, truly come out. It goes, you go through a lot. I mean, internally, even before you discuss it. I know that my bestie knew well, Donna, you did, but a lot. But I know my bestie knew
I came out and
for
I was
years
okay
before I actually officially came out. You know, and she
proud.
tried to be my support and be like, when you're ready, you're gonna do it. I'm right here with you. But I still had personal issues and fears, as Pete was saying earlier, is really all in my head. Of what was going to happen when I came out, like how was I going to be treated? Who was going to be in my corner? Who was going to leave my corner? That's, you know,
I like that about the mentors, because wouldn't it be just a perfect world? You know how they have boys and girls clubs all over America, right? What if we just had LGBTQ clubs for, you know what I mean? It would, you know, that, but the mentor part, so needed in our community, so needed for every letter, especially our trans community who are being attacked continuously daily. I pray for them continuously, and it would just be such a perfect world if we could have it like you have boys, Boys and Girls Club America, it would just be, or big, it would be lovely. It's just having one big center, and
Right. And they
like
can do
depending on that
stuff.
state's capacity, depends on how many are there,
Well,
Yeah.
the Boys and
Well-
Girls Club is creating, is it the Boys and Girls, or is it Big Brothers, Big Sisters?
There's two programs. There's Boys and Girls Club and a Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Oh,
they
One's a
offer
mentoring and one's like a club, type
yeah. you
environment.
go-
But the other one, Big Brothers and Sisters, is a mentoring program. But you know what?
Yes.
Our youth program will lead into something like
Yeah.
that. Honestly,
I-
it really
yeah.
will. That's like on the journey of the direction we're going, is to, be mentors, be educators and
I would love
mentors.
to. I would
Okay,
love
that's-
to.
So
The
and
Big
show
Brothers
them
and Big Sisters
positive role models at the that's a part that's written in, like on our come out and find out about the youth program, but we do have a portion where you will be exposed.
I want to know more about that.
LGBT people.
Yeah, but D,
Mhm.
I have a question.
Huh?
That's for the
Yeah.
youth that's coming out, but what about the adults that's coming out? How do they?
Well, we have to start small. We got the youth program, but believe me, if you contact us, we will still work with you. It may not be to that youth program.
Oh,
but we
not
will
for me.
turn you
I'm good.
away. No,
Yeah.
I'm saying you in
For
general. I'm not
adults.
saying you directly, but I'm saying just in general. If you
Mhm.
want, and this is anybody within the sound of my voice who may be listening or may listen to us later. If you are outside of the age of the youth program, don't worry. Still contact us, still get with us. We still want to reach out to you and try to provide you with any resources that we possibly can. It's just that we're starting off. We have to start somewhere. So
Yeah.
right now it's
Oh,
focused
no.
on the youth, but that doesn't mean we have, other things that can help whomever at whatever age.
Right.
Support groups, there aren't a whole lot of them around, but it would be amazing to have a support group for people who are, in that age bracket that's outside of the youth. I think a support group would be great. The youth program needs to be targeted and has to really work with those youth who are, those are the ages that we're seeing in the streets homeless.
If you catch the youth, you'll have a well-rounded adult.
Mhm.
And who's to say that the ones who
Something
graduate from our youth program won't go on to be, mentors?
Right. Because when you get help, you want to help others.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Sure, not you.
Who is that?
I don't know, it's a great
Marini.
Yeah, same.
But yeah,
But
coming
yeah.
out is a big deal. And it's a lot. Let's
It
talk about
is.
some social things, like beyond our families, our jobs. Have you had like negative social experience? Like I'll share one. I go on YouTube and I love to go on like live chats and things.
Mhm.
The
You two have live chat?
phobic comments and the transphobic comments when I go in there, it's so unsettling. Like it's not even socially outside anymore where you walk with your partner and you hear all the ridicule and stuff. It's now online.
Mm.
And it's crazy. It's really crazy. We're not with that what do they call us in the online? They call trans people transformers.
That's
Call us
because they
all
can hide behind their screen. It's one thing to hide behind your screen
Right.
and say whatever you gotta say, as opposed to, in your face. So people are taking this social media and really being their authentic selves.
Yeah, and the negative post, the memes and stuff.
Mm-mm.
Now imagine if you're not strong-willed.
Mhm.
Right.
That can have a negative, very negative impact. And then cyberbullying, and
Mhm.
that's just some of the social things I've seen You know, again, a lot of people don't like being on YouTube like I do. I go on there and learn lots of things.
Me too.
On there to try to figure out. I like to know what the people are thinking, where they are at, especially the Black and brown community. And you learn a lot being in these groups, even though, you know, I may not say nothing, even though I don't care about the top. I just go in to gauge where we are.
Mm-hmm.
We're social, is it socially acceptable to be LGBTQ plus? And I could tell you, the Black community, we are doing bad. It's bad. You got
It is.
Yep, I agree.
It is. I probably feel more when I'm out with my partner. I feel more stares and, you know, eyebrows raised, or, you know, to give you a little stink face with the brown and Black community more than I do the light, bright community.
Right. It's crazy.
And that's a shame, because that's where you look for support and say, hey,
right.
I got your back.
Your own people, yeah.
I feel more tension with my own than I do with others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anybody else know anything socially? Just to share, you know, when you're out, some of the social things that you see. I could say,
well, I don't have a partner.
Well, not even a partner with yourself, how you're dressed, people, anything that's happening to you.
I don't know.
Now, Donna, you travel a lot. You haven't experienced anything in your travels?
No. When I go to concerts by myself, I'm next to somebody, we dancing and having fun, giggling, and one lady, she was touching all on me. She got her own man. I'm like, I be having fun when I go. I don't have no tension. Nobody bothers me. Maybe I'm just lucky.
You're lucky.
I don't have no problem, not at all.
I don't have problems either.
Smile at me, men smile at me, women smile at me.
It's our personality.
Yeah.
I just think it's the space that y'all are in. Like, I could share something with you professionally. Nurse by day, when I go into cases, I gotta, what, you know, people say the water cooler conversations. I gotta be very careful in these homes what I talk about. I can't share certain aspects of my life, you know, because I go into different people's homes, like Muslim people, and I hear them, you know, sometimes after you've been on the case for a while and you are a major person in your patient's life, you want to leave, but you hear the things of, I can't believe that faggot, or this. And you want to go to autocorrect, especially with being, you know, the president of a LGBT nonprofit, but you cannot do that in that space. So professionally, you'll be surprised what you hear going into these homes, how people still haven't even progressed any mentally about us, you know. So yeah,
I know that I work for a law firm, and I remember, this is probably about a month ago. One of the law firms now have, you know, they have their regular bathrooms, but they also have, you know, just a bathroom for everyone. And when they were taking me around this particular, because what I do is I work for a company and we have law offices as our clients. So I went to this one law office that I had never been to. So they were kind of walking me around, showing me. And when we came past that, they were like, oh, this is, you know, this is for attorney so-and-so, because they felt like they needed to have their own bathroom. I said, excuse me? It kind of caught me off guard, because right then and there, I had no clue, first of all, that there was a trans lawyer in the office, which I never asked. It does not matter to me.
Right.
It doesn't affect anything I do. So when we walked by there, it's like I automatically knew they were talking about how the lawyer had to have been a trans for them to talk about it, because the way they said it, the tone they said it, I knew it had to be a trans, you know, something trans in it. And I was like, I just kind of I was stuck for a moment. I said, what did you say?
Wow.
I said, they were like, yeah, so-and-so demanded to have their own bathroom. So now they gave them their own bathroom. I was like, look, I said, what does that have to do with you? What difference does it make to you if somebody
Right.
has a bathroom? And they were like, it don't make no difference to me, but I'm just saying. If any, and I never said the word trans right. I was like, if anybody requests to have their own bathroom and they got their own bathroom, then let them have their own bathroom.
Mm.
There's
Wow.
nothing in this office that has to do with anybody going to the bathroom. And
Right.
and I think he felt my tone, and he just cut it off and started talking about something else.
Mhm.
I was kind of taken aback. I really didn't know what to say at the first moment because I couldn't believe he was just, you don't even know who you're
Right.
talking to, or who's around your earshot, and you're making these, homophobic comments. Well, not homophobic, but transphobic comments.
Yeah.
It just took me aback. I just was, and from that day, I don't even say too much to him. Like, I don't even, he's never done
Right.
it, I don't even like him now. I really
Mm-mm.
don't. Everybody loves him, and I'm like, I give him
Right.
the stink face, like,
There you go.
So now we're saying once you're out and you're fine with it and your family fine with it, you still got to deal with situations involving your orientation and identity is like a constant battle,
Mm.
And another thing I noticed socially, and again, because I'm new, 7 years or whatever, I noticed practically everything. Vonda tell you, I noticed a lot of stuff that she doesn't even pay attention to. Another thing socially that I noticed is the LGBT on LGBT social crimes that go on, and it just flies over my head. And I'm like, how could you be that way? And you're a part of the community. Like when I first started going out socially, I would hear lesbians saying, oh, is something wrong with that person? Well, what person? I'm confused. The trans person. They're fucked up in their head, excuse me. And I'm like, what?
What?
Well, what does that make us? What does that make you?
Right. Like, weird.
That's a good point, because people need to understand that just because you're part of the family does not mean that you accept all the letters or all the labels or all the different diversity that we have. Not everybody accepts that. They accept who they claim, and they don't want to accept others.
Right.
The thing with trans is,
right,
people don't look at trans as being gay because they don't stereotype themselves as being gay. I'm not gay.
Honestly, trans is a gender identity. It's not a sexual orientation. So
Yes.
there can be straight, and there can be straight trans, gay trans. I mean, they can fit all the sexual orientations. I think people get it mixed up because they're all they put all of our letters together, whether it's sexual orientation or gender identity. And I think that the trans kind of get a bad rap because they get mixed up in the sexual orientation part of it, when that's not the issue of trans.
Right.
Trans is a gender issue. So you can have straight trans. You can have gay trans. You can have all that, because that's a gender issue with the trans.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
So why is this, again, why do we have to deal? Like once you come out as heterosexual and you go get your man or whatever your woman, that's it for you.
Right.
That's it. For us, it's just an ongoing battle. Does anybody get social anxiety going into new spaces? In the beginning, I used to get like a little bit of, even though my family accepted me, I had a partner, everything. Sometimes I would get like a little social anxiety, like, oh, okay, I'm in this space. What should I say? Should I do PDA? How should I behave? What's going to happen? Am I going to end up like Brandon Tina? Y'all saw that movie, right? With Brandon Tina, the lesbian lady that got killed. The movie.
Oh, I didn't see that. What was the name?
Neither.
Oh,
I didn't
God,
see
I
that.
can't remember the name of the movie with Brandon Tina in it. And she was living her authentic self, but she was just in the wrong environment. And the guys took it badly, poorly, and killed them. So do any of you guys have that? Like, now that I'm out, in the beginning, did you have any social anxiety? Like, how
I did.
fit in this space? Is anything going to happen to me?
I,
Especially
you know what?
I did.
Yeah,
guys.
I did, but I don't know if it was so much of anything going to happen to me. It was just, I didn't want to be put in a spotlight. Like, I remember when I first kind of claimed and was living my authentic self in public and private everywhere. You know what put me in anxiety? Freaking barbecues. Like friend and family barbecues. And I'm gonna tell you why, because once everybody got word that I was gay, I started getting treated differently. The women approached me differently, talked to me differently, the men talked to me differently. And I would be like, look, I just want to come in, I'm not trying to be in the spotlight. I just want to kind of blend and sit, and I might not even know these people. I might be there with a friend or something, and I just want to kind of blend in. And I would go through so much of it. I'm like, okay, I don't want to look at that person too long. You know what I mean? I don't want to, walk by and rub that person the wrong way. Like, it wasn't to the point where I felt, where my safety was in jeopardy. But it just gave me anxiety because I was constantly walking on eggshells, watching my P's and Q's. It was just exhausting, It was just crazy.
To this day, I don't go to none of my family events because, like, I got 6 brothers, and it's uncomfortable being around them when they really don't accept the life. To this day, they don't accept it. So I don't even go to their
No, really?
No.
Oh, wow. Somebody.
I don't go to. I don't go to the
I
cookouts.
go to all mine when I can.
I mean, now I go to all. I mean, now I really couldn't care less, but I was so into what other people felt and other people's comfort that even though I was out living my authentic self, I was like, I don't want to make no waves. I don't want to be put in the spotlight. I just want to blend. I want everybody to know that I'm okay. I'm not trying to holler at nobody. I'm not trying to,
Yeah, just because we women and we like women, we don't like everything.
Threesomes. Look, I'm not trying to be involved in no threesomes. I don't want to, I'm not, I just want to blend, laugh, eat, drink, be merry. And I would just get so much anxiety. Like, if I look too long, like, what's going to happen? If I rub somebody, now they think that I want them. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is too much.
I'm trying to.
So, 1 second, Smack. Somebody made a comment. They said, I do as a lesbian married woman. Whenever I say I'm married, people assume that it's to a man and be shocked when I say, no, it's a woman. I even been asked, is it legal?
Isn't that something?
That's crazy. That's that education for you.
Yeah, like they sound.
Is it legal?
No, we gonna be taking
I am so sorry that whoever left that comment that they're going through that. Me, I just walk in my purpose. I vibe with everybody.
Right.
I'm not saying, hey, I'm gay, but if most people who know. You know what I mean? No, I don't want your woman, brother. I got my own. You know what I'm saying? But the one thing that I really realized in my many years that I've been out now, that as soon as somebody gets mad with you, then that's when they want to, you don't do something they want, or which makes them angry. Then they want to call you every, LGBT slander there is in the world. And I guess that I'm so, strong in who I am. It doesn't faze me. I'll be like, oh, that's how you feel, huh? And that's all I'd say. I don't argue. Once I used to, when I was, when MySpace was out, right? That's some time ago. I used to be that person that would lay every person out that was saying something wrong about the LGBTQ community. You know what I'm saying? I don't even waste my energy. And as we were talking, I put a post up like, you homophobic, transphobic, passing any comments. I'm not gonna argue. I'm just gonna delete you. Exactly. I just don't have the energy. I'd rather exert my energy into helping my community. I'm not
Right.
gonna, and if you are a sincere friend of mine and want to know and ask questions, I will ask you. But don't assume, because everybody's story is not the same. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
whoever may have told you how aggressive or masculine women like myself, Donna, and the other person that's
Maxine.
on here, you can't believe
Maxine, yeah.
what was told to you. It's best that I wish people would ask us instead of taking the rumors and the filtered stories and untrue stories that people have told them all their lives. Ask
Yeah.
us. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
100%.
I don't have a problem being in a nightclub with a whole bunch of straight people and a bunch of women coming in there looking their best. I'm not
Mhm.
trying to holler at none of them. I don't get
No.
down like that. That's not who
Exactly.
I
No,
am. I'm here to
they think
have a
we're all
good
sex
time.
crazed. They think that
Yeah,
that's all we
that's
think
that.
about. We're all
Yeah.
sex
Yeah,
crazed.
that's
That's
all
all we
we
think
want.
about.
Get in the bed.
And
Get in
you
the bed.
said the
Get in
That's
the
right
bed.
it.
thing because I'll be 55 next week, Wednesday. And you know the club we
Mm-hmm.
went to, D?
Well,
Yeah.
happy
Uh-huh.
early birthday.
Thank you.
Yep.
It's an
Happy birthday.
all straight club. And that's
Yep.
exactly where I'll be celebrating my birthday. And it's so nice. Like they don't even
Yeah,
interact with
we
us.
ain't had no problem
We
when
had a
we
good
was in
time
there.
there.
Yeah, I had a blast.
You
There
know,
was a
that's
whole
the
bunch of
thing. Like
men in there.
I go
Mhm.
to more straight clubs than anything. But I was gonna say, like, and then dudes think that every girl, like my homies, I have some straight friends just because I'm a hugger. She
Mhm.
like that. You been with her, smack? Nah, dog. She's a friend of mine. Somebody I know. She follow me on social media. Nah, dudes need to get that out of their mind that every time a masculine female hug a girl don't mean that we done had them
Right.
trying to get with them or
Exactly.
got something going on. You should know my character if you my true friend. I'm a hugger. I
Right.
just don't hug y'all.
Facts.
Yeah, you know what I'm
But
saying?
see,
So
that goes to even prove more that it's different factors that come into the decision to come out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the name of the movie is called Tina Brandon for anyone that wants to watch it. And I
Okay.
saw
Tina
that,
Brandon, I'm gonna watch
On
it.
what
yes, I saw
platform? Like
that
Netflix?
years ago. And it's a great movie about a white masculine centered woman that was out. And what they did to this woman was just torture these guys. It's
Tina
like they
Brandon
couldn't
movie.
accept that she was taking the women in that town. They
Mm.
couldn't accept that those women was somewhere on the LGBTQ plus spectrum. No, it wasn't that. It was her. She was doing something.
Wow.
Mm.
You need to watch it. But Lena Queen is on here and she's actually a therapist. Do you want to chime in and say anything about coming out before and after?
Welcome, Lena.
Hey y'all,
Okay.
hey.
Hello, how you
My
doing?
apologies.
Yeah.
Good. My apologies. I had a earlier event, and so my times were over. I think not only just as a mental health provider, but as someone who I've always been out to myself, like invited in myself. But really just I'm 50, and so I came out to everyone when I was actually 40. My
Mm.
daughter is 30,
Wow.
and she and I came out to each other before
Oh.
anybody else. And so from a personal perspective, I agree with what someone else said. Like once people was like, they were rocking with me when it was just like, oh, you're talking about sex and relationships. And then when I started to be more inclusive and more
Right.
vocal about Black LGBTQ and Black sexuality and pleasure from that lens, then there was this like this distance that people wanted to put, and it said more about them than it actually did about me. I think from a mental health perspective, it can be very isolating and alone, and it can reinforce misunderstanding, what I call the defaults, right? We have these societal and sexual expectations that really are made up. When you think about everything fucking being made up, y'all, everything is fucking being made up, and we're just so
Mhm.
authentic in ourselves, and a lot of people are scared of being authentic. And so I did a interview not too long ago with someone, and they were really upset about a young Black boy who went to high school here in Delaware, and they was like, well, he's too feminine. I was like, he's nothing but himself. And so they was like, well, what would you say to him? I would say to him to stay encouraged, because there's a community of folks who's waiting to welcome him with open arms. Just because y'all are not ready for authenticity doesn't mean that other people aren't. And you know, I appreciate I Am Me and the platform that you all have. Being able to take care of yourself, being able to create safety within yourself is going to continue to create self-trust. And so as a mental health provider, when people are coming to me for support and they are navigating their relationships that they've had and the new relationships that they're beginning, I always talk about how do you create safety from within? Because we are being authentic to ourselves more than anything else, right? I tell people, I'm not telling you what I do in the bedroom, I'm telling you how I love and who I love, right? And so I think, you know, cisgender men are socialized to think about sex from a very performative, dominant space. And that's their perception, that's not ours. And I appreciate what Smack said earlier, just about, you know, being able to correct people to say, like, you know, nah, we can have friends. And just because I'm not comfortable touching and hugging you doesn't mean that I'm not a hugger, I'm not that person. And so to me, that really says a lot about safety and how safety is always important. And we have the right to make our own decisions based on safety. There's no right or wrong way. Coming out and inviting in. And I just use safety as a way to measure, is it safe enough to feel, to be not authentic, but to show my authenticity to others, because I'm always authentic. Does that make sense?
Very, very.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all. I'm just here to be part of the conversation, y'all, and like for
Thank
real,
Thank
you know,
you.
building
Thank you,
community.
Queen.
I've been 15 months in the Dominican Republic, and I'm just coming back. And you know, Dominican Republic is one of the most accepting LGBTQ countries in the Caribbean, believe it or not.
Wow.
And to see trans women running shops, doing nails. And don't get me wrong, there's definitely a level of poverty and that's created within the Dominican Republic. But to see how LGBTQ people thrived in their authenticity in Dominican Republic really said a lot about when I came back to the US, about how it's necessary for us to continue to be authentic in our power and to be visible, to be aware of safety, but to be visible and not to shrink. Because the shame that we have fought is not our shame to carry.
Nope.
Right.
It's not our shame to carry. And so, love y'all.
Thank you, Queen.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
but I'm here for the conversation.
All right.
So safety, that's another thing we need to add in our coming out manual.
So it's safety. What we got? Safety, preparedness,
build community, preparedness.
build community.
Preparedness. Are we all agreeing with these, you know, for the young person that's watching or the older person that's looking to come out? Let's just take a step to think about it. Don't just, like Smack said, just bust out in anger. I'm this, I'm that, your identity, your orientation. Take a second to see if you're self-reliant enough to do this, because society can be very harsh. Families can be harsh. They can pull everything out from underneath you. And then now you got more than an emotional problem. You got social issues now. So community, first, make sure you're self-reliant. Make sure it's a safe space to come out. Find a safe person. Build community. Once you have all of that, then come out to your friends and family and say, I'm LGBTQ plus, or don't come out. But if you do come out, at least if mom, dad, cousin, whoever says, well, I can't mess with you anymore, I don't want to deal with you, they can't take your livelihood away.
I was going to say, like, I think young people, when they decide, some people will already know, like, let's take, for instance, I'm just saying this, what if it's someone who has a pastor or, for, one of their parents is a minister or a pastor, right? And they already know what their values that they're preaching to their kids. And I think like when I was younger, when I did come out to my mom, I wish there was someone there to be like a mediator when I did it to offset what transpired, afterward. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That was 2 years that I didn't speak to my mom, and that's 2 years I can't get back. But I am so happy we're in a space now. But I did come out in the 80s. So my thing is, I think it would be great, to ask, would you like for someone to be there when you do it? Ask that 16 to 18-year-old, would you like someone to be there with you when you do it, so that someone can be there to
support,
answer or to be support, right? And then maybe, be that mediator between who they're coming out to.
Well, it's funny that you say that. The youth program that we've developed has that portion in it. So
awesome.
Then if you
awesome.
The youth program, we shared a lot of information about the youth program. You can go to imecorp.org and sign up for an informational session. And if you are just looking to get involved in any kind of way, just sign up and let's talk, because we are looking to network with different nonprofit organizations, business entities, and more. And we wanted to start 2024. And forums like Help Me Understand helps us understand where the need is.
Right.
And I thank everybody, because now y'all have sparked a fire under me to say, okay, I want to get the youth so they can be healthy adults. Now I want to go get these unhealthy adults so they can be prepared, get them ready, and help them through their journey so they can help some of these youths that we don't catch.
Right.
I think that could be resolved with a support group. And if they feel as though they need something out of the support group, then that's where if they feel as though, say for instance, they feel like they need a one-on-one, then that's where, you could be resourceful and refer out. I'm just saying.
Well, that's why everybody needs to sign up for one of those informational sessions, because it's not an informational session just based on what the criteria is to get in the program. It's an informational session just overall to let you know, so that even if you're not,
no, I'm talking about for the adults. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm saying even the adults. The adults can come for the information session, because you can, you can be that mentor, you can be that help. Everybody, my point is, you don't have to be a professional, you don't have to be a youth in need. You can be, regular Jane Joe, and we still will work with you so that we can have them adult mentors, adult big brothers and sisters.
Are we going out to the schools and letting the youth know? How do they get, and how do the youth get in the information?
We're going to send it to you, Donna. We'll send you the information.
Yeah.
I know. No, the thing is that, okay, for those who don't know, Pierce is the founder and president of IME. I am the vice president. So we'll get in these conversations, even though Donna's a member. She will, we'll talk about things that Donna may not be aware of as of yet. So we haven't put too much specific out there. So Donna, I'm just saying, because people probably like, wait a minute, aren't you in the organization? How come you don't know? How come you don't know about this? But it's in the developing stage. So so we got it. We got you, Donna. We got you.
What I was speaking on is for those the adult program that Pierce, you said your mind was kind of thinking on. I would love to I mean, if I can help in any kind of way, I definitely would. But I love the adult support group. And I'm just saying, if the adults, feel they need something outside of that support group, because I know that you guys are starting with your the youth first, but I think an adult support group would be amazing, sort of like what we're doing here right now. This,
Right.
but not so. There's probably people who want to be involved in this, but they don't want to, get on, join the Zoom and be live stream. So maybe,
Right.
what I'm saying? Don? I think you would do
Yeah,
great
because I
running
hit a
an
lot of
adult
people
support
up,
group.
especially.
Yeah. A
I
lot
would
of
love to
people
get
may
in.
not want the live stream part, but that could be something that could be, me being your brand ambassador. I have no problem running it. And me and Donna, we could probably work that, take turns. If
Yeah,
there's someone who's seeking more one-on-one,
for sure.
IME has those resources that we are able to tell them or send it up the chain further. You feel me?
Right.
To you guys, so that you can email them with some resources, because some people, what I've noticed is that a lot of people aren't so comfortable in a group setting. You know what I mean? They may
Right.
need that one-on-one. I'm noticing that with something I'm doing that's for work, they need one-on-one. They don't want in a group setting, because a lot of people are scared to really talk. And
Yeah.
sometimes you got to have that one-on-one with them. But I'm thinking at least start off in an adult support group where people can come together. We can get some places where we can meet, and then if there are people who said, hey, I really would, but I think, are you seeking one-on-one? We can, and then if you have that one-on-one, because I'm going to tell you, and not to be bringing up, my situation with the breast cancer, but I didn't want no be in no group with a whole bunch of people at first. I needed one-on-one. You see what I'm saying? So when people are really getting ready to make a change in their life, especially if they have children, and I don't, and Pierce, with your Peach, with your story, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if a support group would have, when you started thinking of everything you were going through and you talked about your coming out story, if that would have been something that would have benefited, or a one-on-one where you can talk to somebody who really doesn't know you, but it may have been in your shoes and understands what you're going through. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay, I agree, and we could talk about all of that behind the scenes. One thing I do want to harp on with coming out, and I don't know if any of you agree with me, and I know Lena probably will. Another source of anxiety I had was the sexuality, the sexual piece, because that's not, when you're heterosexual, these discussions are had in school. They tell you basically what's going to happen. Well, when you're LGBTQ plus, you kind of gotta either ask or listen, ear hustle on some conversations of what your friends did last night and kind of draw your own conclusions. I think we need like something that where we can have sexual discussions. I mean, like for me, everybody may not be like me. Like, because I was so confused about what exactly happens, I started having parties like everybody's not me. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna figure this out. So you know what? I'm just gonna go big. I'm just gonna promote parties, and I'm gonna have this kind of party so I can figure out what goes on. Now, everybody else in the room probably thought I was an experienced person in the community and all of these things, but no, I was actually learning by being around people and listening to their experiences. I actually had a dominatrix there. I was just doing all kinds of stuff to try to understand the community. And I
but you know what? That's a very good idea.
It-
I think that's a great idea, because
It is.
we have certain safety and health things that we need to talk about within the community, depending on your
Yes.
sexuality and what type of sex you involve yourself in. And there's safe ways to do it, healthy ways to do it, but nobody tells you you know.
No, I was even
They
having
don't. People don't even know that
talking
there's
about
like
it.
people don't even know what dental dams or anything
Right.
like that. Like you just
Comprehensive
Look at
sex
Donna
ed
laughing.
is lacking. And I agree. As someone who also this is Lena Queen again, who also taught human sexuality as an adjunct instructor, right? People, shoot, I say this all the time. Adults, whether you're queer or not, you're still having sex like a teenager because we haven't got out of that mindset about our relationship to touch. We haven't given ourselves permission to really explore our relationship to pleasure, and we really don't understand like how to give and receive. And so there is a huge gap about the how-tos and also like sexual communication, like how to have a talk, how to talk, not about sexual health, about sexual pleasure. There are these huge gaps. And so there are definitely lots of resources I can share. I have a community of sexologists who teach these things as well, and who have, access to resources in class and all that good stuff. But I think that would be a really great workshop or something to have, like how to have good sex. I literally have this workshop called Libido CPR. And that's rescuing your libido from the lesbian deathbed, because people have this new relationship energy and they're doing all the things, but they don't know how to sustain pleasure. And so I'm with it. I think it would be a great idea.
See, we
that's
got
something we're
another
gonna have to
idea.
look. That's something we're gonna have to talk about on back of the scenes too, because we've been very careful not to bring sex topic to HMLU, because I don't think we could last in 2 hours. That would be something everybody would want to give an opinion on. Sex seems to pull people out of the woodwork. So that would be something that we definitely would have
I
to
think
have.
that would be dope.
Always.
We need it because, like I just told you, as a newbie coming out 7-8 years ago, I mean, I'm an extreme person by nature. Anything I decide to do, I'm going all out the way. I shouldn't have to have live stream shows talking about sex, where you're purchasing dildos. How do you use it? How do you know what size? Or having sex parties to figure. But that's just me, because I think grand, like, okay, I don't want a picture. I'm going to have a sex party. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to have people call in and I'm going to learn. But I&Me, we can create that resource. And I think it's a great idea to actually include LGBTQ plus sex, because no one really has a clue.
No, we need to even tell our young gay men, how to have safe sex and not to hurt yourself or your partner. There's ways that there's things that happen to our body, ways that our body may function or respond that we need to discuss, because that definitely is not going to be talked about in most places.
And speaking of responses, right? And you could probably answer this, Angel, right? For people that, come out after being with a male and then going to a female, if you understood your body when you was having sex with the man, you would have knew that wasn't really for you, that you weren't the experience that you needed.
I wanted to ask a question.
But you know what? But before you ask your question, I just want to say, as someone who went, like you said, I might know from one to the other. I love women, but I do like penetration. You know what I mean? So there's things about sexuality, there's sex that people, they feel if you're a lesbian, then, I guess penetration you shouldn't like it, shouldn't want it. Because if you did, why not just be with a man, blah, blah. I look at penetration as just another act of our union, as I would look at anything else, but it has to be with a woman. So,
and
people
I agree. Yeah. There's a difference between sexual attraction and sexual pleasure, right? And sexual behaviors. And so sexual behaviors doesn't always mean that one is sexually attracted. It doesn't have to anything to do with gender. It's about pleasure and sexual behavior. And so I do think a lot of times there is a lot of, and curiosity and wonder should be allowed in the process to discover one's sexuality. without shame. And so, but there's a lot of confusion about gender and gender performance, gender expression, sexual performance, sexual expression. And I think giving people room to be able to explore what they like and what they don't like. Because have you ever had a desire to be like, oh, that's going to be so good? And then you had it and be like, that was the worst shit ever. I will never do that thing again.
So
It's so like, that's what sex is.
So I wanted to ask this question, and I hope nobody killed me on this one, please.
We won't.
We won't.
Okay, so as like I said, I'll be 55, and I never in my life played with a toy. Never. I don't even know how to use one. And my thing is, being gay, like there's a lot of ways to turn a woman out, even give her orgasm without using a toy. So I don't understand the logic of me going to buy a toy, scrapping it on and using it, so that she can be with a man.
See, this is my theory with that. Yeah, this is my thing. You know, when I look at toys or dildos or something as what they are, toys, like if me and my partner are feeling it, then we'll play with toys. If we're not feeling it, we won't. It doesn't change the feeling, the orgasm, the experience that we have, but they're just simply toys. I don't think it's any different than someone using handcuffs or, someone pulling out a whip.
Right now.
Or, to me, it's a toy. I don't look at it as something that is absolutely necessary for sexual, some sexual activity. Does not. It's just one of them things. Okay, tonight we're gonna play with the cups. So we might play with food or. I think I look at it as along those lines. I don't look at it as a necessity that has to be there and I have to have it or it's not sex. I don't look at it like that. Now I can't speak for no one else, but I know I don't.
Right.
Okay.
Listen, I like using food analogies. I'm sorry. I like using food analogies. Like some people. Some people, I'm a pescatarian, but some people like think about burgers, right? Everybody likes a burger differently. Some people want their burgers with cheese. Some people want their burgers without cheese. Some people want burgers with ketchup. Some people want burgers with like barbecue sauce. And so and that's what a sex toy is, right? It's like it's how do you like your sex? And what are the condiments that you really want with it? And for some people it's great, and for some people it's not. And so you got to get and play with it to figure it out. I don't think it's either good. It's not about being good or bad. Again, it's about pleasure. What do you like and don't you like? But what turns on it and you off, and then staying still.
Okay.
All right, Angel, it's 8:54.
Yes, it's time to wrap it up.
Yeah, I think we need to have a sex-based help me understand.
Woo, that's gonna be more than 2 hours. I can tell you that. That's gonna have, that's gonna have to be a special or a season finale or whatever we're gonna name it. That's gonna have maybe we'll go for February since that's like Valentine's. Maybe we'll have like an extended HL, help me understand so that we can get into all this.
I think it need to be a workshop.
Now, Lena, we may need you on that one because you're gonna get all our uneducated opinions.
Right.
Listen, right. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Like I can talk about this stuff all day long.
All right. Well, it's about time to wrap this up. It's about time to wrap this one up. We're gonna be out of here. We only got till like 9:00. I first want to thank everybody who came on the Zoom. I want to thank Smack, P, Lena, Maxine, what is it, Marini? I'm sorry, Marina. I hope I don't know how to pronounce your name right, but I thank you for joining us. I love this discussion. I love the fact that we have our own experiences, our own opinions. We spoke about the youth program. Please go to our website, www.iammecorp.org. Sign up for one of the informational sessions so you can find out all about the youth program and ways that you can either be a part of it, assist it, whatever, just get information so you can pass on whatever you need to do. We're looking for a little bit of everyone, whether it's from the professional scale to just the regular average Joe scale. Check out the website. We got events coming up. We have our holiday party. It's coming up December 9th. It's going to be back in Wilmington at the Historical Society. And we hope that you join us there. Donna, you want to say anything before we
No, I just want to thank everybody that joined, and I appreciate all your comments and your let me understand what y'all had to say and your experience, and I had a good time.
All right, P, you want to
Right.
say anything before we close?
No,
Give everybody a chance.
I will wrap up, what advice would you give to a person that's struggling to come out? What, we should each impart wisdom like we normally do when we leave.
Well, I will say that I like what we talked about. I truly believe that if you are considering coming out, get your community or person, get someone who has your back, that can be your support system or your mediator, as Smack says. I think you need to be prepared for all consequences, worst case scenario, best case scenario, realistically prepare, not just theoretically, but realistically. And I do think you do need to educate yourself just a little bit, just so you can have some talking points and make it a nice learning experience for those who may not understand, but are willing to, listen and try to understand you or connect with you. So I think you need education. I think you need your community. And I think you need to be prepared for everything.
Yep, being prepared meaning
You said everything. That's right. Yep.
Be self-reliant.
Yep. She said it all in a nutshell.
Anything from you. You want to walk away from the coming out experience with just your feelings hurt. You can work on that. Try to be a self-sufficient, self-reliant. Get your finances together, your living situation, your job situation. That way it makes it all easier. Anybody else closing out?
I agree with
I said everything.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
this
we
Mac,
hope. Okay.
you guys have said everything that I would, I think Angel summed it up.
Yep. Took the words out my mouth.
But I do want to leave you, for our young people out there that may be struggling with something, please, reach out to someone who may be older, or reach out to IME Inc. You know what I'm saying? I just want to say to our young people, we are here for you. You are our future and our community. Reach out so that we can help you.
All right, Maxine, you got some last words?
You said it all. I really, you topped everything.
Miss Lena, Miss Queen. Is she still on? Lena?
I just say, yeah, I'm here. I would just say, if you're struggling, take care of yourself and figure out what feels safe, so that way you can manage the intensity of your emotions. And I follow what everybody else is giving, some really sound, wonderful advice. Community is here, and identify who your community is and your supports are, and just make sure you stay safe.
All right. Well, we thank everyone who joined us, and for those who will be listening to us later, hopefully we helped you understand a few things. And our next Help Me Understand will be 11/16, and actually we're going to get into trans rights. There's been a few things going on in the world, some situations and incidences that we want to discuss, and we're going to talk about it. Trans rights.
All right.
Next
chill.
11/16.
11/16.
11/16. Everyone have a wonderful, positive night, and love yourself just as much as you love others, and love others just as much as you love yourself.
All right.
Have a great night, everyone.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.